Hey guys, welcome to my second video. I'm Veronique and today I'm going to talk about 5 ways to not let your past define your future. And I'm also going to talk about how I relate to that. So the 5 first things that you're going to get out of this is I'm going to share about my past. I think that's the best way to help others is to share your individual journey because you never know who might be going through that similar situation and how it could help them. So the first 5 things are to not let your past define your future, and these are just helpful tips. And I know these are hard. First 5 is number 1 is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all the past mistakes. We're human. We are prone to making mistakes. It's even good to learn from your mistakes to move forward. So the first one would be to forgive yourself. Number 2 is to let go. Let go of your past mistakes, and if you want to change, you are capable of making that change. Number 3 is to do the opposite of the choices that you made in the past in order to have change for your future. Number 4 is to write it down. Write it down, all the things that you have done that you wish you wouldn't have done, and then learn from it. Think about, oh, I could have done this differently. Oh, what could I do here? What change would I want from this? And number 5 is to let go of fear. I know change is always, you're always scared of failing again, or you're just scared of the unknown, of the outcome that's going to come from making this change. So with that being said, those are the 5 different things to do in order to not let your past define your future. And with that being said, I now want to share, I'm going to start with writing it down. So what I did for myself is I wrote down all my past grievances and everything and how it affected me. I came from a very toxic family, I guess, would you say? My parents were just really toxic when they were married. And no offense, my mom is watching this and she knows, we've gone through it together. And, it wasn't her fault. I honestly don't blame my mom. My dad was a really toxic person to be married to. He was abusive in the way that he beat my mom. He took me to drug houses. I remember going to drug houses when I was probably 5 years old, and I remember not to ask him any questions because I already knew by the time we got home that my mom and him were going to argue about where we were all day. My dad always made me feel guilty. He never necessarily made me feel like I was special to him. I would be sick. I started getting migraine headaches when I was 5, and I would get them every 3 months ever since I was 5, and then they stopped around when I was 18. But every time I got sick, my dad would make me feel really bad. He would tell me, stop being so sick. Why are you sick? Oh, I can't deal with this anymore. And I was 5 years old. And I even remember one time I was so sick and my mom wasn't there. I don't remember where she was, but he had to take me to the grocery store because I needed crackers or something to put in my system because I had been throwing up all day. And he left me in the car, and he probably left me in there for a good hour, and it was hot. And I remember just sitting there not knowing if he was going to come back. I just remember when he did came back, he was so angry at me just because he had to do this deed of going inside the grocery store and getting me crackers or whatever I needed while I was sick. So at the time, I didn't know how toxic that was. Now that I'm a parent, I never would make my kid feel guilty when they're sick. I want to take care of them and make them feel loved. I want to make them know that no matter what you do, if you throw up on me, if you have boogers on me, whatever, I don't care. I'll scoop it up. So I feel like because my dad put me through that, it made me not want to be that with my kids. And so also my dad was an alcoholic. He was a drug addict. And you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm actually putting my dad out on blast. Before, I was so afraid of making him look bad. And I was so afraid that he would see something and call me, even though I haven't talked to him for over, I don't even know how many years. But that I would hear from him and he would tell me how disappointed he was in me sharing what he went through. And, you know, I think after going through therapy and everything, that I finally have come to the place that this is my best way of healing, but also helping others. Because I know there are people out there who maybe have an alcoholic dad, or maybe they have a dad who beats their mom in front of them or beats them up after they beat their mom. And maybe you're young or maybe you're older and you went through that and you don't know how to deal with that because it hurts you. It hurts you so much that the person that brought you into this life could be that way. And it's so hard to understand because you feel like you did something wrong, but you didn't. All you did was be born. And I'm here to tell you, you are loved. You were brought to this world for a purpose. And I'm so sorry that if you had a dad or even a mom who made you feel guilty when you were young and made you feel unloved in any certain way, maybe it was when you were sick, or maybe it was just being there for you on a daily basis. And now that you're older, those traumas still affect you when you're an adult. As much as we try to decompress them or make them feel, we try to make it seem like they don't exist because it's easier to not deal with those feelings. It's easier to move on and go about our daily work and deal with our families and everything and act as if that stuff didn't bother us because we want to put on this persona that we're so strong and nothing can affect us because we're superhumans. And that's fine until you reach a point where you do start seeing that, wow, this, when you like have a bad day, you start noticing like you're thinking about all the stuff that you went through in the past, and it starts getting to you, and it starts getting to you more and more and more, and then it takes over because you never dealt with it before. So my first recommendation is, if you are going through this hard time and you don't have anyone to talk to, I definitely recommend you find a therapist. Therapy is not bad, guys. It is just someone that you talk to. I don't recommend on going on meds, but that's another story, just because I feel like meds can be another outsource of decompressing unless you really need it. If you really need it, then fine. But I do think that by talking to someone just to hear you, to put in action steps and create those skills of moving forward, I definitely recommend that. So what's my point in this YouTube video? My point is that start writing down all of your grievances from the time you were little until now. Maybe it was today that something happened, and see how you react to that situation. Is it something that reminds you of your past, that how you would deal with certain situations? So for me, whenever my dad was this way with me, I would put as if I knew I was different. I knew I was different from both my parents. My mom was really, my mom was strong, but when she was married to my dad, she was weak in the way that I feel like she was afraid because my dad would beat her. She didn't know how to get out of that certain circumstance because of my mom's background and everything. And and I know she wanted to protect me from him. but she would stay quiet, even though my mom is like a super strong person, and now she's very vocal with how she feels and everything, and I'm so proud of her and all of the therapy she's done because she was in that situation. And so I knew I was different. I knew I couldn't be weak, but I couldn't be overpowering and strong because my dad would break me down. But I knew that I had to stay quiet. So I would hide and I would be there for myself. So now, what I've realized in the future, or in the past, even growing up, whenever I came to a problem or was going through a hard time, what did I do? I would hide and I would deal with myself. Or I found God later on and I would pray to him and he would help me through it. But like, I would be by myself. I never would like run to people and tell them my problems because I didn't want to seem like an issue, I guess. I didn't want to seem like someone had to save me. I wanted to save myself. And so yeah, I would say write down your grievances and then see if you deal with those situations and you're like, wow, I did that as a kid, or I did that when I was a teenager. And so then you can start analyzing your reactions and see how you can change that so that you won't continue down this road of your past defining your future. So that's basically what I wanted to share today. I know it was very deep, and I'm here for you guys. And if there's anyone that is going through these same traumas, I'm sincerely, like, I feel for you. I've gone through it. I know all of our stories are different, but we can relate in some circumstances. And just reach out to someone if you need the help. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.